Well, as convincing as those words may be, there are about 79 of them who mean business, because if you purchase farm, you mean business. Those farms are in millions of naira. That's not the business of today. Let's go swiftly to our major focus tonight, everyone. The minimum wage matter is getting more critical by the day. So labor unions are not joking. They want to get to the street. And their leaders are asking for an upward review up to, in fact, more than 30,000 from the current 18,000. But the crux of the matter is that some governors of the state, the 36 states of the nation, say they cannot pay. In truth, a lot of the states are owing several months of workers' salaries. Today, an extended meeting of the economic management team with state governors held to harmonize positions on the ongoing negotiations over the new minimum wage. But the meeting ended inconclusive. Sound familiar, isn't it? The chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, Abdulaziz Yari, told journalists after a closed-door meeting with the vice president and economy management team at the State House that the governors are willing to pay the new minimum wage proposed, but lack the capacity to do so. Take a listen to him.
Labour sent some numbers, and eventually the committee has given some proposal, but the governors still, they haven't come up with any number. So by tomorrow, we are going to discuss with our governors and said, oh, look at what Labour is sending, look at the bill. The bill was directed by the Honourable Minister of Labour to be sent to the NGF Secretariat so that we can digest what is the bill is contained and then discuss about it. Then we come up with our own position as governors.
The governors, we understand, will be meeting in the next 24 hours or so to decide on a clear position, an amount that will be acceptable to all parties. New national minimum wage for the workers in the country. Well, let's get to the matter tonight, everyone. Don't forget, 18,000. That is the money, the minimum wage that is obtainable right now. There seems to be differences between the private sector, the governors, and the federal government. The propositions are on the table. The labor unions say they will get to the street. They will, in fact, shut down major businesses and major parastatals of government if they're not heard and action taken on before November the 6th. That is in few days. Trouble looming, isn't it? In the studio with me tonight is one of the labor leaders, Mr. Joe Ajaero. He's the president of the United Labour Congress. And we have via Skype tonight from across the sea, Mr. Muda Yusuf is an economics and the director general of the LCCI. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming on the program. Let's get to the matter tonight. Mr. Ajaero.
Thank you very much.
Isn't it just simple? You know that some of your colleagues across some of the states of the Federation are not being paid salary. Some of them are owed several months, up to 6, 7, 8 months of salaries are being owed. The government says, we want to pay, but we don't have the capacity. When you're asking for an upward review, are you not asking for crisis?
Well, I don't think that the governors are telling Nigerians the truth. You know, the 18,000 naira minimum wage was a wage negotiated in 2010, 2011, and they have been paying comfortably up to 2015 during the last election. And they changed their priority because they needed to win an election. From that time, the issue of owing salaries came up. And then that salary was supposed to be reviewed in 2016, naturally. But even between that time and now, so many things have happened. You know, the exchange rate of the dollar, it moved from 150 to 360 or thereabout. The new pump price of petroleum products moved from 97 to 145. And at the palliative committee meeting, government said set up a committee to review wages because of ABCD, notwithstanding that naturally it has expired. And now for governors to blackmail us with the fact that they can't pay 18,000 naira minimum wage is funny.
Is it a blackmail
it's a
or the fact?
Pure blackmail.
We've had up to 3 to 4 tranches of the Paris Club refund meant to bail out some states, to pay salaries of some states. Are those not realities?
So were they utilized for that purpose? You see, if you are not ready to govern, there is no need buying forms to run for an office. For you to go there and say you didn't know that it was that intricate. Let me say that some governors are still willing to pay. Now, you don't depend on rent from the federal government for you to be able to pay. And some of them are battling for 20,000 naira minimum wage. Some of them are paying 25 as at today, when minimum wage was 18,000. So, and some are ready to pay 30. Some others are not ready. So, and we can't continue to die in silence, because even the 30,000 that is the issue now is less than 1,000 a day. I'm not sure that any artisan, either bricklayer or carpenter, takes 1,000 a day. That's the cross. If a month is more than 30 days, it's less than 1,000. So how can you feed a family of 6 with 1,000 naira? And they're talking of ability to pay or no ability to pay. And I've not been told that any governor is owed salary.
Let's talk to the economist here, Mr. Muda Yusuf. In reality, can some of these states, I mean, some of them that have been declared insolvent by private analysts and said, look, some of them are now, some of the states are not viable. They're not making much money to run the state. Are they in trouble? Can they pay? In reality, is it true that they cannot pay?
Well, I think we need to look at the many dimensions of this issue. First of all, most of the states, including the local governments, are carrying a workforce that is not sustainable. Many of them can make do with 50% of the current workforce. But for many reasons, particularly for political reasons, many of them have not been able to muster the political will to deal with this challenge. The workforce they are carrying is clearly unsustainable. So they have put a lot of pressure.
Let me pause you for a moment. Sorry, Mr. Yusuf, because I will be asking you some very critical questions on the economics of what the state earns in terms of FAC and in terms of internally generated revenue, and the true state of some of the finances of the state, and whether or not the looming strike of the labor union will affect them. That's going to be after this break, everyone. Join us again.